Good morning, guys. So I'm Yaneli. This is Emily Sanchez, Myra Sandoval, and Emily Muniz. And today we're going to be talking to you about mental health awareness.
Welcome to the first ever Mental Health Awareness Assembly and Fair. This is a joint effort between HOSA and NAMI Tyler. We are so thankful that we can come and speak with you all today. Let's take a moment to thank all of the people who are bringing this to you. Ms. Karen Cabara, Ms. Erin Reynolds, Ms. Abby Eckert, Ms. Jennifer Anderson, Mr. Lee Trailer, ETMC's Behavioral Health Center, Access, Christus Trinity Mother Francis Health Center, NAMI Tyler, Katrina Hines, Russ State Hospital, and of course, all of the wonderful and dedicated HOSA members. So what do all these people have in common? What about these?
Have you guys figured it out yet? I could go on and on. They all deal with some type of mental health condition. So let's try a little activity. As you were coming in the auditorium today, some of you were giving glow bracelets. If you have a glow bracelet, please raise it up high. Now be sure to look around. If you've been looking at the posters in the hallways or even been listening to the announcements in the morning, you have seen or heard facts about mental illness. One fact is that 1 out of every 5 people, or 20% of the population, deal with mental illness. So if you have a glow stick, please raise it up high and wave it in the air like you just don't care. Because you represent the 20%. You would be the person living with depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, ADHD, PTSD, or any other disorder. That's a lot of people, you guys. These are all your friends. These are all people you've grown up with. Please don't let them feel like they're alone.
So, how do you know if you or someone you care about has a mental health disorder? You should be able to recognize all of the warning signs.
Mental health conditions are more common than you may think. 1 in 5 youth or young adults lives with a mental health condition. Do you know the warning signs? Like feeling sad or withdrawn for more than 2 weeks. Severe mood swings that cause problems in relationships. Intense worries or fears that get in the way of daily activities. Sudden overwhelming fear for no reason. Or seriously trying to harm or kill oneself, or making plans to do so. Not eating, throwing up, or using laxatives to lose weight. Significant weight loss or weight gain. Severe, out-of-control risk-taking behavior that can cause harm to self or others. Repeated use of drugs or alcohol. Drastic changes in behavior, personality, or sleeping habits. Or extreme difficulty concentrating or staying still. If you see these signs in yourself or a friend, tell a trusted adult. The first step to getting help is to say it out loud.
Let's see how much you know about mental health. Can you spot a myth from a fact?
Depression and anxiety only affects adults. Myth. Anyone can develop a mental illness at any age. Fact.
Kids only get mental illness because they have bad parents? That's a myth. Mental health conditions are not caused by doing something wrong. Doctors believe mental illness is caused by a combination of what is happening in your body and what is going on around you.
It's a fact. People who have mental health conditions are not as smart as everybody else. It's a myth. Mental illness has nothing to do with how smart you are.
Having a mental illness means you are a wimp who cannot handle life. That's a myth. Mental illness isn't just in your head. It is not something that will just get better on its own or go away if you try hard enough. That's a fact.
People with mental health challenges have to take special tests to go to a job or go to college. Myth. People with mental health conditions can work, learn, and do everything that people without mental illnesses do.
Here are a few more facts. Mental illness usually begins between the ages of 14 through 24. The range of time between thinking you might have a mental health condition and getting a diagnosis and treatment is 8 to 10 years.
That is 8 to 10 years of your life that you might be struggling with depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, psychosis, or an eating disorder, to name a few. 8 to 10 years without counseling, medication if necessary, and proper nutrition. So the earlier we can start talking about this and reducing the stigma, maybe the sooner someone gets the help they need.
More myths are when people have mental illnesses, they will never get better. But in reality, once a person with a mental illness is diagnosed, they can begin to improve. Everyone and every illness is different. Some get better through talking to a friend, family member, or counselor. Some also get better by taking medications.
Talking about mental health challenges is a waste of time. It's better to just take medicine. You wouldn't tell someone who has a broken leg to just walk it off. You would tell them to see a doctor and get treatment. So it doesn't make sense to tell someone having a mental health challenge to just get over it. They also need to see a doctor or counselor to get the treatment they need.
People with mental illness are violent and dangerous. That's a myth. Most people with mental illness are not violent. A person with a mental illness is more likely to be the one getting hurt or being bullied.
Mental illness is more common in some racial groups than others. That is also a myth. Mental illness can affect anyone, no matter what you look like, what you wear, or where you are from.
What is a stigma? A stigma is when you view someone in a negative way just because they have a mental health condition. A feeling of shame or judgment from someone else. It can come from an eternal place, being confused, feeling bad, or with being bad. No one wants to be made fun of, or even embarrassed, or feel left out. Believe it or not, there used to be a stigma against diseases like cancer. People would whisper anytime they were talking about someone who had cancer. Because of many people agreeing to talk about it, now we have more research opportunities, many legislators who are willing to fight for more research money.
How many of you watch The Big Bang Theory? Well, Dr. Mayim Bialik, or as you may know her, Amy Farrah Fowler, is actually a neuroscientist, and she is joining NAMI to speak out against stigma.
Hi, my name is Mayim Bialik, and you probably know me from The Big Bang Theory, where I play neurobiologist Amy Farrah Fowler. Well, in real life, I'm actually a trained neuroscientist who spent 7 years of my life working towards a PhD specializing in obsessive-compulsive disorder. My research for my thesis confirmed a significant personal connection for me with OCD. OCD is real, as are anxiety, depression, and panic disorder. I know about those as well. I also know way too much about bipolar disorder, suicidal depression, and a host of other conditions I've come in close contact with in my life. But my interest and involvement in the world of mental illness didn't start in graduate school. I come from a family full of a phenomenal set of skills and also a tremendous amount of struggle. Many in my family have lived with mental illness without help or support. As hard as it is to live with a mental health condition and not get help, it's also hard to love someone with a mental health condition when we don't know how to help. As I left my parents' home and went out into the world, I learned that people who struggle with mental health conditions are to be found in every corner of the globe, in every racial and ethnic group, and from poor and rich families alike. No family is immune from mental health conditions, and it's a rare and blessed gift to be able to get help when you or a loved one need it. I've turned to NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, as a resource for myself and those I love for years. NAMI is a nonprofit organization whose goal it is to provide support and information to those living with mental health conditions or loving someone who's living with a mental health condition. NAMI does this through support groups, my personal favorite, fundraisers, public service announcements aimed to remove the stigma from mental illness, advocacy, and helplines to give you support if you or a loved one need it. It's not easy to talk about mental health conditions, but I know too many people I love who did not get help in time. And that's why I've chosen to speak out with NAMI and spread the message that I am stigma-free and everyone deserves to get the help and support they need. And NAMI can help you do that. Please consider being a part of NAMI's mission.
Ever heard of Demi Lovato? Okay. Well, she had to deal with mental illness while being in the spotlight. Here's what she has to say about mental illness and stigma.
I'm Demi Lovato. I'm a recording artist, author, songwriter, and actress. I'm also living with bipolar disorder. I've seen some dark times, especially with the depressive phase of the illness. Bipolar depression really got my life off track, but today I'm proud to say I'm living proof that someone can live, love, and be well with bipolar disorder when they get the education, support, and treatment they need. Through my music tours, you've seen me speak out against the shame and silence around mental illness. Now I've started to bring my mental health advocacy to a new level. Through the Mental Health Listening and Engagement Tour, I will be learning from some of the most amazing mental health advocates while sharing my own story so that I can hopefully be a source of inspiration to others. I want to shine a light on the people out there who, like me, are learning to live well with mental illness by getting the right diagnosis and finding the right treatment plan. I want to be the most informed and powerful advocate I can be, and to help people find the courage to seek help. People living with mental illness often have low expectations because they've been hurt or disappointed in the past. I want to change that. Our society tends to shame or ignore those with mental illness, and I want to change that too. I want people to expect more from our society and for their futures. The Mental Health Listening and Engagement Tour kicked off with the JED Foundation, an organization dedicated to emotional health and preventing suicide. The work they do really matters and is changing the way young people, their schools, and families think about what it means to be healthy. This is all so important to me, and I can't wait to tell you more as I learn more along this tour. In the meantime, if you or someone you care about could use help, reach out for support. Asking for help when you're struggling is a sign of strength. You can be your own advocate, and you have the power to help advocate for the people in your life too.
Okay, so how can you be stigma-free? Okay, NAMI gives us 3 suggestions. 1, educate yourself and others, and that's what this event today has been about, just to share information, because the more we talk about it, the less mental health is going to be stigmatized. See the person, not the condition. If you know someone that is suffering from depression, don't just call them, depressed all the time. Or if you know someone that has schizophrenia, don't say, well, they're just a schizophrenic. No, they are a person who lives with that condition. That's just one part of them. And then also take action, okay? The more we talk about it, then the more that whenever you go home and you talk about it with your parents, and then your parents go out and they talk with other people, we're spreading that word, so we're taking action. Okay, so what can you do right now for yourself, for someone you know? Just let them know you care. Be a friend. Talk to someone. And if this is you, don't feel like you are alone in this upside-down, topsy-turvy roller coaster journey that you're going through all alone, because you're not. You're not alone, and that's what we want to get across. Okay, NAMI Tyler, that's actually the group that I'm representing today. We are the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization dedicated to building better lives for millions of Americans affected by mental illness. So what we are basically is friends, family members, sisters, brothers, parents, grandparents, best friends, whatever, of someone who lives with a mental illness or mental health condition. We are not doctors, we are not counselors, and we don't profess to be that, but we are just people who care. Okay, so how could we actually help you? Well, we have monthly support group meetings in Tyler. There's also support group meetings here in Jacksonville. So there are people that you can talk to and get support from. Another is we have educational classes where we can help family members understand their loved one better and figure out what's actually going on. And then we help families become advocates for their loved ones, because sometimes those people can't advocate for themselves. They need some help. And these are our resources for today, of where I actually got all of my information. And this is pretty much it. I want to thank you so much for being here and for being an attentive audience. You've been wonderful.